This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
On Christmas Eve. We're exhausted.
Also known as Festivus
today. And then we found out earlier this morning it's Tibbs Eve in Newfoundland. Mm-hmm. That's the way the show went this morning, like a lot of mornings. Where we start with the best of intentions on a plan, and it takes virtually no time to veer over to here.
I love those mornings. I'm not going to lie. Those are the ones that keep me on my toes, and those are the ones I find we have the most energy because we are on our toes. It's different from when we plan it out and then we just kind of sit back and be like, all right, what's next?
Yeah, if you just do everything we have planned, there's no surprise. It's not as much fun for us.
I love the surprises.
So I just mentioned that I always find today Christmas Eve. And then a handful of people started tweeting in about Tibbs Eve in Newfoundland, and they were using like beer and wine emojis. That piqued our curiosity.
Well, and then the word mummers, which I am not familiar with. And I was very curious because apparently on Tibbs Eve, mummers go about
they wander everywhere.
Visiting people. And I'm like, what are mummers? What? We had to learn more.
So we called one of them and we spoke with Shannon. And also, like many things that happen on our show, the husband gets involved.
Hello.
Hey, it's Mark and Charity Mornings. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. Happy Tibbs Eve today.
Yeah, it's my wife has called in and she's in the washroom right now.
Oh, okay.
Just give her a second, she'll be here.
No problem.
This is what she does when she's not talking to you.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
So you text us and he doesn't know what's going on.
I was like, there's a phone call coming in on my cell phone. Answer it.
So what is your name?
Shannon McLean.
Okay, Shannon, thanks very much. Tell us, did you live in Newfoundland or you just know their customs?
Yeah, no, I grew up in Gander, actually.
Okay.
So today is Tibbs Eve.
Yes.
And what is Tibbs Eve?
It's just a chance to get together and drink slush with your friends. And drink, and mummers go out,
and mummers are
people that they dress up in all kinds of crazy outfits. So, like, they'll wear long johns with the underwear on the outside, and
so it's another word for in-laws.
and do you sing? Do you just go and visit friends?
Yeah. So you go and you're all dressed up. You're covered up head to toe, so they can't tell who you are.
Oh,
okay.
And you go from house to house, and you knock on the door, and you go in, and they have to give you a drink if they can't guess who you are.
Oh, okay.
How have we not adopted this?
And you play music, and you carry the ugly stick around, which is a broomstick with a rubber boot stuck to the end of it, and there's beer caps nailed all over it, and it's a mop. Yeah, it's lots of fun.
This sounds amazing.
This is great.
It is. Every Christmas there's a mummers parade in St. John's, and like hundreds of people dress up in mummers costumes and come out and parade around town.
Okay, so
That's amazing.
Now it's called Tibbs Eve. So is tomorrow Tibbs Day, or it's just?
I don't know where the Tibbs part came from. I just know it's just Tibbs Eve.
Yeah.
Tibbs Eve. To go out with friends and celebrate before, I guess, getting together with family?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Go
and then
door to door and drink and dance and play music. And
be merry.
Yep.
So to recap, it's home invasions where they give you drinks after you get to wear the ugliest clothes you got, and when it's all done, you don't apologize.
Basically, yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is my
sounds like so
favorite.
much fun.
All the best to you and yours over the holiday season, Shannon. Thanks so much for texting in and picking up the phone.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
All right.
So that's what's going on in Newfoundland tonight. So if you have a friend in Newfoundland and you are going to call them to wish them a happy Tibbs, they're not at home.
I am shocked and disappointed this hasn't been picked up across the country, especially right here in the Quinn area. Because it sounds like it would be a lot of fun. And they do say that Tibbs Eve, and I mentioned it there too, Shannon, the tradition comes from it's a night or an opportunity to spend with your friends before you spend the holidays with family. So if you have close friends or people you'd like to see over the holidays, this is your chance to do that before traveling or before going and spending that time with family.
That's a very good point, because rather than saying, Newfoundland's got to figure it out that. Rather than say, hey, I hope we can get together sometime before the holidays, they already say, we're all getting together on the 23rd.
But if everybody's going out and visiting everybody else,
Right.
then who's actually home when you go to their house?
So these home invasions, leave the door unlocked and a light on. Leave a bottle
But they
on
have
the
to
table.
guess that it's you. And if you don't, then you get a drink. If you can, that's great. But
Yeah.
I don't understand how
Maybe in Ontario we're too tightly
overthink
wound.
it?
Yeah,
Maybe we just overthink
we
it.
couldn't make it work here.
that's
But
probably what it
Newfoundland,
is.
they got to figure it out, and
They
God
certainly
bless
do.
them. God bless them for doing it. That sounds like a lot of fun. And you know what? I wish I had an ugly stick. Did you hear that? It's a
Yes,
stick
with a boot on it.
boot on the end, and you nail
Bottle caps, yeah.
caps to it. That's your ugly stick, and you walk around with that. And if they can't guess who you are, you get drunk.
I would like to know where this originated from. The very first person to come up with Tibbs Eve.
Tibbs Eve.
I would love to talk to them and ask why and how. But thank you.
Of all the Christmas songs, why isn't there one dedicated to Tibbs Eve?
Yes, maybe there is. Maybe in Newfoundland there is a song.
We're gonna have
I'm
to
sure,
find it now.
You know what? I'm sure next time Alan Doyle's in town, we'll ask him.
We're gonna
Is
say,
there? Do you sing a song around Tibbs Eve, or
Right.
could you write one?
or what if he's entertaining and somebody shows up in his kitchen? What does he do? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Has
we
he
gotta
ever
figure that one
participated?
out.
I'd be very interested to talk
Because
to him.
I think
and
I
ask
would
that.
know if it was him.
You think so?
You know, if he came in and of course he just starts singing. There you go.
Well, he wouldn't be able to speak or sing.
Alan.
He'd just have to be
Very
in
true.
costume.
Very true. So that was going on today. We also talked about the most common things that couples get triggered about over Christmas. And there are 10, but as we mentioned this morning, maybe 3 are by the wayside thanks to the pandemic. And the most common one would be, where are we going to go and who are we going to spend the most time with? And they're sort of like, you know, your family, my family, and then that fight kind of starts.
Yep.
So that's one of them. The other one's the travel fight. You know, you overpacked or you weren't ready on time, so we're late for the flight and blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff that couples do. Okay, there's that fight. And then there's the mother-in-law fight. She's just trying to help you with the cooking and everything gets up in arms over, your dad meant, my dad meant well when he got you tools for Christmas. No, he thinks I'm an idiot, right? Like all that stuff. The in-laws. No, so that one's probably not going to happen this year. But here are 7 of them.
Well, and I hate to say after you read them this morning, how many that I've actually had.
Yeah, well, because they're common.
Oh my gosh.
Heaven help you if you have all 7 this trip.
It's pretty close.
Oh no.
It's pretty close.
You need to have a quiet Christmas
I know.
then. We were talking about this in early December to avoid the money fight. And the money fight is that stick to a budget.
Yep.
Sometimes you get away from it because you budgeted for Christmas presents and that's
not
great.
everything else.
Yeah, then you forgot about buying the
Yep.
food and alcohol and decorations and before you know it, it's like, yeah, we really didn't do all that well.
No,
the
and that's what
budget.
we pointed out at the beginning of the month, to incorporate everything, not
Money fight.
just
Yep.
gifts, but everything that goes along with the holidays.
The why am I doing everything fight. It says right here, this part here, see this here in this font?
I know.
Most likely started by women. True, but true. They do. 99.8%.
See, I don't like that. Started by women. I think it's almost that's our possible reaction.
You know what?
to
You're right. It makes
something.
it sound like women are starting
We're
a fight
starting
that they
the
don't
fight.
deserve.
I don't think we necessarily start. I think we're triggered, and that's our reaction to
Yeah,
something.
And for
Not
the-
making excuses.
I was going to say, but for the most part, as guys, we would deserve that. Because it's probably in fact, okay.
Now, okay. Oh, now the light bulb's gone off. Let's hear.
This is that discussion or that reaction, as you put it, would be the result of a comment like, well, didn't you have time to? Right.
Or where is, or why don't we have, or what's
Yes.
going, when are we doing? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that being.
So all of a sudden, his reaction is that you've dropped the ball on something.
Exactly.
And
And that's when you need to step back.
that's why they name
Guys.
hurricanes after women. So,
So
okay,
true.
you get what
It's
you
so
deserve.
true.
The why am I doing everything fight. The annoying habit fight. This one to me is tied into the last one, the exhaustion fight.
Yes.
Which is
I would agree with that.
everybody has a little quirk, a little
Yep, we all have our
foible,
ticks. We all have
and
our-
early on in a relationship, it's what you love most about them. You know, all that.
You can ignore it. It's nothing. It's
right.
it's almost
that's
cute.
so funny. It's cute.
Yeah.
But over the holiday season, when everything gets exacerbated,
Listening to you breathe is not okay anymore.
yeah, that light little snoring isn't purring anymore. No. It's all of that little gas explosion after a good meal that used to be such a compliment.
No.
It's just so
Never a compliment.
annoying. Well, I think it's a compliment. You should be complimented by
Never a compliment.
all of a sudden, it's like, why do you?
Exactly. And you're right. I think it does tie into being tired and exhausted. You're done. Come on.
And this is the other one's the exhaustion fight, where really nothing really set you off. You're just both exhausted.
And I will be honest, that was me last night. I know.
Really?
I know. And I prefaced it. I know. I was clearly tired. And I said that. I just feel really tired. And I had that moment. And it wasn't anything big. It wasn't anything. It wasn't really any one thing. But I hit that moment where I was just like, "Blah!" And it came out. And
I'm laughing because I'm on a podcast.
I know.
Because I had to endure it.
I ended up apologizing afterwards, of course, but I was tired last night, we'll say.
The badly behaved children fight. So I'm going to assume, and maybe I have it wrong, that the kids, of course, are geared up because it's Christmas.
Again, overstimulated, sugar,
right, all of that
lack
stuff.
of sleep.
And I'm going to assume that the fight is, you deal with it. No, you deal with it. No, you
Someone
deal with it.
deal with it.
So why should I have to deal? Yeah, why should I stop what I'm doing? I'm going to assume that that's the fight.
I've dealt with it all week.
Yeah.
It's your turn. Yeah.
But you're better at it than I am. They never listen to me.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I'm falling into the very thing that I do. Oh.
No, it's very true.
So there's that one. Then there's the gifts fight, which is
Gifts fight.
And I'm going to guess it's kind of, you put a lot of effort and time, and in return, you got a voucher.
Did you see last year, and I've been waiting for something this year, I haven't seen it yet, but last year, Saturday Night Live did a skit about, it was called The Robe, a new robe for Christmas. It was a song, and it was a parody song about how mom got a new robe for Christmas.
Oh, yes.
And then
Kristen
it continued.
Wiig.
Yes. And it continues on. And the dad's got all these gifts and the kids have all these gifts. And through it all, at first she's excited, but then it continues on. She's like, and I got a robe.
Yeah.
And I got a robe. And now I'm going to go make dinner. And now I got a robe. And it just continued on.
That's
So yes,
all
all mom got. Was the robe. And it was a nice robe, but just making that point mom got a robe, everybody else gets an array of gifts.
And that pointed out a bit of a passive-aggressive nature on the gifts fight.
But there might have been some truth behind that, and that's why that was so funny.
Yeah.
And then I got a robe last year.
Yeah. So here's that exhaustion fight then, guys. Don't turn to it and say, you okay? What, didn't you like the robe? And there it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's pretty funny. And the last one, of course, is the not tonight, darling sex fight. But it's Christmas Eve.
It's a special occasion.
Remember when we were first married? Christmas Eve was kind of a big deal. Not tonight.
Too tired.
Really? But it's Christmas Eve. So 7 trigger times over the holiday.
Go.
And as she pointed out, here's hoping you don't have more than maybe 2 of them. At that.
Fingers crossed.
And we present that to you as forewarned is forearmed.
Yes.
So now that you're aware of it.
All tongue in cheek. It's to be proactive, and maybe you can recognize a few warning signs and maybe back up a bit slowly. But very happy holidays to you and yours.
Yes, very much so. We are going to have a Christmas Eve podcast tomorrow, including an AMA, Ask Me Anything. So if you'd like to get that in, you can text to us right now at 613-962-0955. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast here on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and through our social media websites. If you are heading out over the holiday season and aren't around tomorrow, all the best. And if not, back here on the air at 95.5 Hits FM, the Christmas Eve show tomorrow. Wall-to-wall Christmas music as chosen by Charity. Some of it will have been scheduled to play and replaced by Charity songs. We're looking forward to it tomorrow. Get dressed good and early and get up with Mark and Charity Mornings.